Hello and welcome to a cooking video by Sage Nutrition Coaching. I'm Tammy. I know that I haven't done a cooking video in quite a while. We actually have not had a kitchen since April of 2019 until the week before Christmas. So I'm really excited in this new year that I have a nice new remodeled huge kitchen. So I'm excited and hopefully we'll be able to do more cooking videos as the year goes on. I'm very excited about this. So today what I want to do is we're going to make some potato leek soup. It's that time of year. It's nice and cold outside. Great time to make some soup. So for this soup, there are very few ingredients, and I'm going to show them to you in just a moment. The only ingredients that we need are 2 leeks, 6 potatoes, a celery stalk, some bay leaves, thyme, freshly ground salt, and freshly ground pepper. There's also going to be some chicken stock that I add. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 leeks and I'm going to cut them in half and chop them up so that we can put them in water to soak. Leeks traditionally have a lot, you can see some of the dark marks on here. Leeks traditionally have a lot of dirt inside of them, so you really want to make sure that you clean them off. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you here on this first leek really quickly how to cut it, and then I'll show you what they look like after I put them into the water. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just slice the end off of the leek and then slice the green part off of the leek. We actually only use the white part of the leek, especially for potato leek soup. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it directly down the center in half so that I can easily slice it. So you can see there is actually quite a bit of dirt in that first layer. So this is one of the reasons that we want to cut them and soak them first. So when you're doing this, all you have to do is just cut them into nice slices here. Now, I'm not going to cut the whole thing. Instead, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to take my water and simply break them up with your fingers into the water so that they can soak. And I'm going to do that with all of these. Let them soak for a minute so that we can get all the dirt off, and then we'll go on to our next step. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to peel my potatoes and chop them up. So you can just peel them with any peeler. Now that I have the potatoes peeled, all we need to do is chop them. And a quick way to chop a potato is to simply cut it in half, just like we did with the leek. Move these guys out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half again. So you're cutting them into quarters. Now, all you have to do is quickly slice down, and you're going to have some nice chunks to put into your soup. They don't have to be equal in size in any way, shape, or form, because we are going to end up blending this after our potatoes have. All right, once that's done, I'll be back for the next step. All right, my potatoes are done. So what I'm going to do is I've got the pot portion of my Instapot, and I'm simply going to dump those in. Next, I'm going to cut my celery stalk up so that I can put that in. And this, again, is not something that it really matters how thick you cut it, if the pieces are even, because after the cooking, we are simply going to be blending this either in our blender or with an immersion blender. All right, I'm going to take my celery and I'm going to put it in. All right, it is now time to check on the leeks. So if we look at the water that is in the leeks, you can see that that water is actually quite cloudy when you get the leeks out of the way. And that is due to the dirt that is between the layers of the leeks. So now what we have to do is dump this off, give them a quick rinse, dump it again, and then they're going to go into our pot. Water's been dumped off. They've been rinsed again. So I'm going to put these leeks into my pot. The final thing for me to put into the pot is going to be my chicken stock and my spices. All that's left to put in is going to be our chicken stock and our spices. So if you don't make your own chicken stock, you can use a chicken stock. I prefer an organic and a low sodium version of a chicken stock, and it's your choice where you get it. So we've got 4 cups of chicken stock. For our spices, we are going to use thyme. And if you use fresh thyme, you're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of fresh thyme. I'm using dry thyme because I just don't have any fresh thyme in the house right now. And I'm going to use about 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme. I'm also going to put in 1 single bay leaf. And that bay leaf we're going to pull out before we grind it up and use our immersion blender. Then I'm going to use salt and pepper. I'm going to do about 1 teaspoon of salt that I'm going to freshly grind into my pot. And I'm going to do about 1 teaspoon of pepper. And I like freshly ground pepper. And the reason that I like freshly ground pepper, one, it's a great workout to grind your salt and pepper. But secondly, you get the oils from the pepper. And when it's fresh ground and you get the oils, it's going to be so much more flavorful than it is if you get it already pre-ground. So I want the flavor in there. All right, that is it. I'm going to put it into my Instapot. And I'm actually going to use the slow cook mode. And I'm going to slow cook this for 50 minutes. All right, now that we are done cooking, we're going to open this up and we are going to remove our bay leaf so that our bay leaf is no longer in there. Then we're going to take our immersion blender and we're simply going to blend it for soup. Now that we've blended it up, I put it in a bowl. I cut up some chives as garnish. Enjoy your potato leek soup.